but I'm scared. I'm a mess. I got my sprained ankle.
That's the whole point of this fight. It creates conversation, barbershop conversations, taxi conversations, airplane conversations, and that's what we want, more people talking about the fight.
The arena swung from thunderous cheers to stunned silence and back again in the span of a few intense exchanges. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul was framed as a clash of eras, a decorated heavyweight striving to reclaim his dominance, and a social media-born fighter who spent years turning spectacle into sporting credibility. When the final bell rang, the internet erupted, highlight reels, hot takes, and analysts dissecting every frame. In the hours that followed, both fighters finally spoke, raw, measured, and defiant. The night transcended a single name on a scorecard. It was bigger than either man, a cultural moment in boxing history.
I think at the end of the day, I'm a kid with a big heart that wants to change the world, disruptor, and I never took no for an answer, and I'm just chasing my dreams, having fun, and living the American dream, really. It's a testament to hard work, and every single day dedicating yourself to a craft, pushing through when you don't want to be there, and it all pays off in the long run, and believing in yourself, setting goals that people think are impossible. That's really what my story is all about.
After major nights in boxing, a unique silence settles. Not the absence of sound, but a heavy, reflective pause before chaos resumes. Trainers checked vitals. Doctors made their rounds, and both camps withdrew behind closed doors. When public statements emerged, they were raw and personal. Confessions of exhaustion, reluctant praise, and the measured intensity only an athlete can carry. Joshua's first words read like a ledger of the night's give and take. The missed angles, the rounds that slipped away, the fleeting moments destined for years of analysis. Paul's initial remarks, blending bravado with candid honesty, captured the fight's emotional landscape. The solitude, the roar of the crowd, the fractal judgment that trails every contentious exchange. Both fighters highlighted the same truth: respect for the event, gratitude toward the audience, and a desire to let the fight live in memory rather than be reduced to a single line on a scorecard. It was a night meant to be felt, not just...
He has a very side-on stance, tries to practice the Philly shell, and I think Jake has a chance that is slim to none.
Appreciate it.
All good?
Thanks, boss.
Thank you very much.
See you guys.
Heavyweight of the world!
Yeah, I can get my back. For the first week of sparring, I had to get comfortable in there and let things slow down and feel the power out and get the confidence to slip, catch, move.
In the lead up to the showdown, predictions were everywhere and sharply divided. Odds makers and analysts largely installed Anthony Joshua as the favorite, with most betting markets listing him as the expected winner. This perspective was reinforced across reputable outlets and betting boards. CBS Sports, for example, with combat expert Josh Nagel, leaned toward Joshua, highlighting his record against top-level opponents and his finishing power, predicting a likely TKO or KO. Similarly, Yahoo Sports viewers flagged Joshua as the fighter most likely to stop the bout in the early rounds, citing both his experience and the way referees might favor the seasoned heavyweight under pressure. Yet the consensus was far from unanimous. Boxing's more outspoken personalities and several high-profile fighters offered contrarian views. Tyson Fury, never shy about placing both words and money on his convictions, publicly suggested that Jake Paul could land a fight-altering punch, even claiming he would bet heavily on Paul in a hypothetical scenario. Fury's confidence helped fuel the narrative that an upset was still very much possible. Dana White, as usual, delivered a blunt and candid assessment. While skeptical of the crossover hype, he respected Paul's bravery in stepping into heavyweight territory, underscoring that the fight world was watching closely and often surprised. The fighters themselves added to the tension. Jake Paul, known for his outspoken confidence, predicted victory and publicly insisted that Joshua could not knock him out, sharing his bold claims on platforms such as Pat McAfee's show during the pre-fight media run. This mix of voices, Analytical heavyweights favoring Joshua and credible believers backing Paul added cinematic tension to the fight, making each round feel like an epic clash of styles and narratives. After the fight, pundits reacted in typical fashion. Some retracted statements, others doubled down, and many praised surprising moments. Former champions and current pros admitted to misreading the fight's tempo, while others treated it as a case study. Amir Khan, for instance, highlighted Joshua's ability to impose traditional knockout power and discipline in an influencer-driven spectacle, praising the veteran's craft. Social media also buzzed with discussion about technical adjustments, ring generalship, and the rare moments when crowd energy shifted the fight's expected course. What stood out was the honesty in analysis. Few try to hide being wrong. Instead, many used about to discuss the evolving craft of boxing. Analysts and fighters debated how to prepare for a social media-born competitor, like Paul, who has honed timing against experienced fringe pros, while also examining how a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua must defend not only against physical threats, but narrative pressures capable of influencing officials, broadcasters, and momentum. Ultimately, the pre-fight debate and post-fight reflections underscore that modern boxing is as much about strategy and spectacle as it is about raw power.
Well, it's very tough to say something about Joshua or Jake. I'm waiting for this fight because I'm so excited. But, Jake have a lot of chance to win. And a lot of people think he's not, but I believe in Jake. Joshua is the best fighter and have a lot of experience in boxing. Is a heavyweight guy, but Jake improved a lot, and the people need respect both. Because it's not everybody have sorry my English, but have a balls for come inside the ring and fight.
From the first bell, the fight set a kinetic and urgent tone. Early flurries hinted that Paul's unorthodox aggressive angles could find openings, while other stretches displayed textbook heavyweight boxing. Controlled distance, precise jabs, and heavy power shots. Moments that seemed routine on Paul's were seismic live. A short uppercut that drew a collective gasp from the crowd, a minor stumble that shifted the balance of an entire round. In the aftermath, both fighters spoke respectfully about these key moments. Joshua's camp emphasized effective jabs and power combinations, while Paul's team highlighted scrappy infighting and a ring confidence that belied his unconventional path to the spotlight. Both sides analyzed what the fight truly revealed: new respect, lingering doubts, and a gallery of what-ifs. If the ring was where the fight happened, social media was where it lived on indefinitely. A single clean exchange, a near fall, or a sharp collision became the language of the night. Clips circulated endlessly, looping by millions as pundits, celebrities, and casual fans debated technique round by round. Memes transformed fleeting grimaces into long-running hot takes. Both fighters leaned into this environment, releasing raw clips from the dressing room or medical area, making fans feel part of the behind-the-scenes action. The result was a blend of humanization and monetization. Viewers were drawn into something real, beyond the press-managed narrative. Trainers from both camps spoke with surgical precision. Joshua's corner critiqued missed range management and the need to maintain a high guard against unconventional angles. Paul's team praised his conditioning and courage, but admitted tactical blind spots against an opponent with Joshua's power and accuracy. Both use a language of learning rather than excuses, providing clinical breakdowns of rounds. Why momentum shifted, how pace imposed stress on game plans, and what adjustments were needed for future fights. These observations read like detailed homework assignments, the kind fighters will tuck into the next training cycle. Every jab, step, and combination became part of a larger lesson, a blueprint for evolution. The fight wasn't just about victory or defeat. It was a masterclass in adaptation, strategy, and the new intersection of sport and spectacle.
Those big discrepancy in skill. Sometimes the better fighter carries the other fighter, or maybe goes a little easier. Is there any part of you that maybe thinks that way, or are you going in there 100%?
Zero part of me. And it's not even that it's Jake. It's just, I was actually looking at myself today. I'm a very respectful guy, brought up by a good family, but if I can that's just how I am. And this is just the job I do. So
This fight moved serious commercial meters. Betting markets shifted not only during the bout, but also through the post-fight weekend. Pay-per-view buys were scrutinized, and promoters began circling potential rematches like prize bulls. Outlets such as CBS and other betting analysts published prop bets and adjusted lines in real time. A reminder that modern boxing is as much a data-driven entertainment business as it is a sport. Executives and broadcasters will be tracking rewatch sales, subscription spikes, and digital engagement for weeks. A night of high drama like this is valuable currency. It funds future cards, converts casual viewers, and can reshape a fighter's marketability almost overnight. While pundits debated technique, fans argued meaning. Social media overflowed with confessions, allegiances, and hot takes. Older boxing enthusiasts critiqued the spectacle, whereas younger viewers celebrated the fusion of content, craft, and personality. Even neutral observers admitted they had been swept up in the theater of the night. The consensus was clear. This was a moment people wanted to witness firsthand. Both fighters acknowledged that, thanking fans in separate messages and emphasizing that, win or lose, the spectacle exists because people showed up and paid attention. Talk of a rematch began in the stands and never fully subsided. For promoters, it's the obvious play. Controversy equals commerce, and a follow-up fight sells itself. Public remarks from both camps were intentionally non-committal, a standard negotiating tactic that applies pressure while allowing the market to gauge appetite for another date. Experienced observers know that a rematch becomes likely when the first fight leaves more questions than answers. Both men left the door open, signaling that the story is far from over. Health was a priority in public statements, with monitored checks and precautionary language emphasized. This reminder that long-term welfare matters helped temper social media frenzy and refocus attention on recovery and next steps. Fights have a way of recalibrating narratives. For Joshua, this night adds another chapter to a career that includes heavyweight titles, setbacks, and reinventions. For Paul, it represents a high-stakes test for a career built on both attention and legitimate results. Both fighters reference legacy in their post-fight comments, Joshua framing it as a long arc, Paul emphasizing immediate proof. Yet they share one understanding. Legacy is built on response. How they act in the weeks and months ahead, through training, media, and competition, will likely matter more than any single outcome. At the end of the night, both fighters spoke with a blend of humility and fire. They thanked their teams, admitted to pain and disappointment, and vowed to return to the gym with purpose and intent. This was more than a fight. It was a commercial, cultural, and personal milestone, and the aftermath will shape the trajectory of both careers in ways
That they're talking about is a massive bonus. So for me, I'm not worried about what people think about the integrity side. I'm more worried about, are they talking? And as long as they...
This fight, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, was more than just a bout. It was a strategic, human decision that will be remembered for a long time. Analysts, fans, and gyms would dissect it, teach it, and debate it endlessly. Both fighters handled the immediate post-fight moment wisely, focusing on what the fight cost them physically and mentally, and what it offered in return: lessons, respect, and momentum to shape the next chapter of their careers. Whether that next chapter is a rematch, a renewed push in the heavyweight division, or a fresh set of challengers, one thing is clear. Both men will be judged less by a single result and more by how they respond in the weeks and months ahead. Now it's over to you. What are your thoughts on the fight's outcome? Who do you think Jake Paul should face next to prove he's a legitimate boxer? Share your opinions in the comments below, and stay tuned for the latest boxing updates.